The next category is the poverty category. So before the group gets up, I'll just finish reading the whole description so that people can hear about the great work that you're doing. 1 in 6 children in Canada lives in poverty. And believe it or not, tonight, 80 families will be using emergency shelters right here in Ottawa. Can you imagine the impact on those children? Children who go hungry on a regular basis are at greater risk for long-term health problems. Poor children have fewer opportunities for sports and recreation, and they are more likely to live in unsafe neighborhoods, which may lead to a number of negative consequences. Poverty is a huge problem. How do you even begin to tackle it? La pauvreté est en effet un problème immense. Par où commencer afin d'y faire face? Le récipiendaire de ce prix a commencé à résoudre ce problème par le biais d'une activité très spécifique et très pratique. The winner of this award has started to tackle poverty with one very specific and very practical activity. The Lunchbox program was a 1-year pilot project with community shelters geared towards ensuring that kids in need are able to bring a healthy lunch with them to school each day. As a result, the kids involved were well fed, they were focused and attentive, and school became a place they wanted to be. This program was so successful that earlier today, they announced the program would receive an additional $250,000 in funding, extending its life for another 3 years. Congratulations.
First of all, it's a great pleasure to be here. C'est un grand plaisir d'être ici ce soir parmi vous. Thank you very much. I am originally from Ottawa, but I did fly in from Toronto. I may be the only person who actually flew in from Toronto for an Ottawa event. But again, because I'm born and raised in Ottawa, it's always great to come back. And I do have family here still, so I do get back once in a while. Let me tell you a bit about the Grocery Foundation. The Grocery Foundation has existed for about 30 years. And it's a group of people in the food industry, in Ontario specifically, retailers, manufacturers, and brokers, who got together and decided to create the foundation as a way of giving back to the community. It's had a bit of a history. You may remember the program Cash for Kids in support of Variety Village. Used to be promoted through the food stores, even in the Ottawa Valley. That was a program sponsored by the Grocery Foundation. About 5 years ago, the mission was rewritten. And the core mission at that time became supporting causes to fight child hunger. And my role in the Grocery Foundation, I work at Metro Inc., and we have a lot of great Metro stores in Ottawa, in case some of you didn't know. Here's my plug. And I represent Metro Inc. on the board as one of the retailers who participates with the foundation. And I joined the board about 2.5 years ago, and at the time, it became quite apparent that it was a very Toronto-centric kind of organization. So I kind of made it a personal mission, even though I was then working in Toronto, that I should try and bring some of the work of the Grocery Foundation back into the Ottawa Valley. I had done some work with Jeff Turner at United Way when I was working here with Loeb Canada in the sort of 2003-2005 range. We'd done some good work together, so it was a natural to call up Jeff and say, look, we've got this foundation. We'd like to invest in the Ottawa community. Can you help us find some ways to do that? So Jeff was very accommodating, and it turned out that the United Way was creating a new program in Ottawa called, let me get this right, TCI, Targeted Community Investments. So the Lunchbox program ended up being maybe one of the first programs as part of that new initiative on the part of United Way Ottawa. So it was a pleasure to be part of that. The connection that we made with Jeff and United Way through the TCI program was to connect us and the foundation's ability to fund to a couple of family shelters in Ottawa. And specifically, it's the Forward Avenue Family Shelter and the Carling Avenue Family Shelter. Places you may be familiar with where families in distress sometimes need to go hopefully for a temporary period of time in order to get repositioned in the community. And some of the services through those facilities are administered by people such as Corey with the local health community associations. What we were able to develop was a program where money was given specifically to those two shelters to fund a lunch making program for kids to be able to bring lunches to school. And this, I think, is where it fits into the anti-poverty positioning of the award. I appreciate that. if you can break the cycle of not going to school, that in and of itself is a way to fight poverty. Kids in these situations, sometimes they're teased, they don't have a lunch, they maybe don't look quite the same as the other kids in the school, so there's not a lot of incentive to keep going to school. One little thing they can do is bring a lunch, make it a more satisfying experience, feel like they fit in, and if they keep going to school, it helps beat that cycle of poverty. So I think that's it turned out to be a great cause we're supporting inadvertently because we came in looking to support child hunger. So it's great to have that spin-off. The folks at the United Way have been very supportive. I'd like to thank them very much. There's Jeff Turner, Martin Sampson in particular, will now be supported by Sarah from the United Way as well. And that's our story. So thank you very much. I think if it's not too much, I would really love to have Corey say something because she actually manages the program for us at one of the shelters. Thank you.
So I guess I'll just speak quickly about the experience over the last school year, and we're now embarking on our second year, but basically on a weekly basis we were able to serve about 120 children through the 2 sites, a healthy lunch, but with that kind of, also giving them some opportunities for learning and acquiring some life skills in regards to what's involved in making a healthy lunch and how can they do it themselves. So not just equipping the families with the food, but giving them some, some opportunities for life skills building and again breaking the cycle and looking at ways that they can do it on their own. So once they leave the shelter, they have that new skill. So nevertheless, it's a big stress relief for families. We see it in their faces when we deliver the groceries on a weekly basis, and really positive response. And again, as spoken about just a few moments ago, it has enabled them, their attendance has increased, they're going to school with full bellies, ready to learn, and really able to focus during the day and get active and have fun with their friends. So just like to thank the Grocery Foundation and thank you for this award.